All right, today we're going to break down a T20 chase that honestly was a total demolition job. We're talking Blazing Rockets versus Mohali Club. Now, one team put up a really solid total, but the other team, well, they chased it down so fast, if you blinked, you probably missed the whole thing. So let's dig into how it all went down.
So, just look at these final scores. At the halfway point, you're thinking, this is going to be a great game. Mohali Club posts 163. I mean, they're scoring at a healthy 10 runs and over. 9 times out of 10, you'd bet on that being a winning score. But the Blazing Rockets didn't just win. They won with almost 10 overs left in the bank. That's not a win. That's a statement. The real question is, how on earth did a match that looked so competitive on paper end up so completely one-sided?
And that's exactly what we're going to break down for you. Chasing 164, that should be a nail-biter, right? It should go down to the last couple of overs. But to get it done with nearly half the innings to spare, that's just wild. So let's get into the anatomy of this absolutely incredible chase.
Okay, so to really get how insane the chase was, we've got to look at the target they were chasing. We'll start with Mohali Club's innings. They came out of the gate swinging, and for a big chunk of their time at the crease, they looked like they were on their way to a massive score. And here's the number, 163. Now, in any T20 game, that is a very competitive total. It puts the pressure on the chasing team right away. You've got to go at more than 8 and over from ball 1. So when Mohali Club walked off the field, you can bet they felt like they were in control of the game. And this partnership right here, this was the engine room for their innings. You've got James Bittu and Mahesh MMK just going absolutely ballistic. 63 runs off only 28 balls. That's a run rate of over 13.5. It wasn't just ticking the scoreboard over, it was a full-on assault that really put the Blazing Rockets bowlers under the pump and set them up for a huge total. And Bittu was the guy leading the charge. A 50 in just 20 balls, that's top-tier elite stuff no matter what league you're watching. He was just seeing it like a beach ball. At that point, Mohali Club wasn't just hoping for a decent score, they were probably thinking, yeah, we've got this in the bag. But just when it looked like Mohali was cruising towards a score of 200, maybe even more, the Blazing Rockets bowlers fought back. And this right here is our first major turning point. Raju comes in, takes 3 for 22, just rips the heart out of their middle order. And then you have Bablu. His 2 for 8 is just ridiculously economical. This wasn't just about damage control. This performance dragged the total back down to something gettable, and you know what? It probably gave their batters a huge mental boost. So there we have it. The stage is set. 164 to win. It's a tricky chase for sure, but it's definitely possible. What happened next, though, well, it was anything but your standard run-of-the-mill run chase. So you're the Blazing Rockets. You need 164 to win. The pressure's on, right? The required run rate is already over 8. You absolutely cannot afford to get bogged down at the start. So, did they avoid a slow start? Oh yeah. They didn't just avoid it. They basically rewrote the book on how to start a run chase.
I mean, just get a load of this. They reached 51 runs in just 3.1 overs. Let that sink in for a second. That's just 19 balls. They were scoring at more than 16 runs and over right from the start. The chase wasn't just underway, it was practically over before the power play was even done. And this visual right here really tells the tale. Look, Mohali Club had a great start themselves. 50 runs, that's flying. But the Blazing Rockets just made that look slow. By the same point in their innings, they were on 62. They had already lapped them. This wasn't a chase anymore, it was an absolute domination.
Now, a blistering start is great, but you have to keep your foot on the gas. And the partnership that took this chase from great start to game over was just a spectacle. It completely broke the spirit of the Mohali Club bowlers. So after a wicket fell, Raju and Pollard came together and just unleashed chaos. A 50-run partnership in only 15 balls. Think about that. 15. They were scoring at a rate of 20 runs and over. As a captain, what can you even do? Your plans go out the window. Every bowler you bring on gets smashed. In the span of just a couple of overs, the game was done and dusted.
So let's talk about the 2 guys who did all this damage. First up, Pollard. He comes in and look at that strike rate, 255.56. That little cameo on its own is enough to win you a match most days.
But then you look at his partner, Raju, an even higher strike rate, 263.33. When you have 2 batters scoring at that kind of pace at the same time, forget about it. It's not a competition anymore. It's just an exhibition of pure power hitting. So yeah, that partnership was insane. But really, the story of this whole match comes down to one person, Raju. His all-around game was on a completely different level. He was, hands down, the most valuable player out there.
And, surprise, surprise, he was named player of the match. I mean, was there ever any doubt? It was just one of those legendary all-around T20 performances where a single player grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and just refuses to let go.
And this breakdown of his MVP points really shows you the whole picture. Yeah, the batting was incredible, earning him almost 8 points. But look at the bowling, nearly 5 points there too. What this tells you is that he had already put his team in a commanding position with the ball before he even picked up a bat. Let's just put his final numbers up, side by side, because they are worth looking at. Smashing 79 runs off 30 balls. That's a match-winning effort. Taking 3 crucial wickets while giving away only 22 runs, that's also a match-winning effort. To do both of those things in the same game, that's just legendary stuff.
Okay, so let's zoom out one last time and put a bow on this thing. A couple of final stats are all you need to see just how dominant this win really was. This one might be the simplest and most powerful stat of the entire match. It took Mohali Club 95 minutes to bat and build their score. It took the Blazing Rockets just 54 minutes to chase it all down. The efficiency is just mind-blowing.
And here it is, the final nail in the coffin. Look at the run rates. Mohali Club at 10.09. That's a great scoring rate. You win most games with that. But the Blazing Rockets were scoring at 16.23. They weren't just a little bit faster. They were on another planet. They didn't just meet the required rate. They absolutely smashed it to pieces.
Which really leaves you with one final question, doesn't it? We can talk about partnerships, bowling changes, and run rates all day long. But when one player has a day like Raju did, a true masterclass with both the bat and the ball, was the result ever really in doubt? It just goes to show you that even in a team sport, sometimes one player's sheer brilliance can be all it takes.